Sairam to all of you. So, children, welcome in your biology class, which is chapter 16, and this is part 2 of management of natural resources. In your previous part, in part 1, you all have studied, you all have come to know about the simple introduction and awareness about management of natural resources. So in this part, we will study about the various resources and also their management. So children, let us start with forest. Forest and wildlife, water, coal and petroleum. Among all natural resources, these are the main resources which you will study in your chapter 16. So let's start with forest. So children, as in picture you all can see that a forest, what is forest actually? A large area of a land on which trees, various type of trees and various type of other plants, also herbs, shrubs, etc. grow naturally is called a forest. So what are forests? Where naturally trees and plants grow themselves. So the plants of a forest are also called flora. Let us come to the next, which is wildlife. So children, what is actually a wildlife? The wild animal, various wild animals like lion, elephant, deer, snakes, etc. and also the variety of birds which live in a forest are called wildlife. So, forest where trees and plants are there which grows naturally, and in that forest, that area which is called forest, in that area which is called forest, various type of varieties of wild animals live. It's a habitat of wild animals, and also various type of birds, reptiles also live in a forest, which is called wildlife. Animals of a forest, or we can say a wildlife in a forest, are called fauna. Okay children, so let us come so as we have studied that variety of animals are present in the forest. So due to presence of a large number of species of plants and animals in the forest are said to be biodiversity hotspot. Why biodiversity hotspot? Because majorly the higher number of species, large number of species of animals and plants are found here. So one of the main aim of the conserve or management of forest and wildlife is to conserve the biodiversity, which is called hotspot biodiversity because of presence of large number of species which we have inherited. So this is because the loss of biodiversity leads to the loss of ecological balance, stability of the forest ecosystem. So this is a reason why management and conservation of forest and wildlife is necessary. So we will discuss now the various stakeholders in the management of forest and their aspirations. Actually children, what are stakeholders? Stakeholders are or we can say what is stakeholder? A person, any person with an interest or conserve means either they have some job duty from government side or from a private sector, or they are dependent on any state, on any resources, natural resources, and they take care of their management, they manage those resources, conserve those resources, so they are known as stakeholders. So a person with an interest or concern in something is called a stakeholder. When we consider the management or conservation of forest, we find that there are 4 types of stakeholders in it. Means for conservation and management of forest and wildlife, there are 4 types of stakeholders. So one by one we all will study about these stakeholders. So the first stakeholders are the people. Okay, the people who live in around means the people who are dependent on forest and living nearby forest only. They do not have any job or any business, so directly for their life, for their leading to the life they are spending, they depend on forest directly. So the people live in and around the forest are dependent to some extent on the forest products to lead their life. Okay, so they live their life on the dependence on forest. In fact, but when they use materials from the forest, so in fact the people living near forest had developed practice to ensure that the forest resources were used in sustainable manner. Means there should be no damage or harm to the forest while using or collecting material for their use from the people who are dependent on forest directly. So the damage causes to forest cannot be attributed to only the local people living around the forest. Actually, they really take care and conserve the forest because they are directly dependent on the forest products to lead their life. How they are dependent on the forest? See, they take firewood, fuel from the forest trees, firewood for the fuel. They usually lop the branches of the trees and pluck their leaves, but do not cut down, means they do not harm or damage the forest products. Okay, they only take the branches, leaves and locks of the branches. They take bamboo. Why do they take bamboo from the forest? To make their huts, baskets, and also collecting and storing food materials. And they collect wood for making agriculture implements also. And they gather fruits, nuts, and also some medicinal herbs from the forest for their use. So, and they also collect green fodder and graze their cattle in the forest. So these are the various reasons why the stakeholder or a people dependent on the forest. And the now next one and the second one, how people are dependent for the forest. They are actually a forest people. Forest people means they are employment of forest. They got job from the forest department. So this is known as the forest department. The forest department in India is India's biggest landlord and control the resources from the forest. They have biggest responsibility these people who are put into a government job from the forest as a forest department, they have a big responsibility to take care and also in the management practices for the forest. Okay, the offices of the department tend to ignore both local knowledge and local needs in their management practice. Means they have to maintain a balance between conservation, management practice, and also people who are dependent to lead their life. The forest department which operates under the government owns the land and resources provided by the forest. Okay, for they are responsible for proper usage of the forest and conserving them. So this is the duty of the forest department. These are second stakeholder. They are actually not dependent on the forest and the product or material of the forest, but they have duty from the government side and they got money. They are employment. They got money and salary from the government, from the forest department to do such functions. Now, one example I am giving you. If the forest people, if there will no one, if forest people will not maintain the balance, what will happen? Okay, this is one example of the nomadic herders or a shepherd of the Himalayas. Nomadic means people who do not have proper home. They roam with their animals or sheep from one place to another. Okay, so they are known as nomadic herders or nomadic shepherds. So nomadic shepherd of the Himalayas, they used to bring their sheep, animals in the forest for the grazing. So these herders brought their sheep down the valley for grazing, but after the construction of national park, okay, this example is of National Himalayas Forest. From the herders, from these employment, from the people who are under the government, under the forest government people, so they do not allow herders, means these herders were not allowed to bring their sheep for grazing. So what happened as a result? As a result, what will happen? Imbalance, ecological balance will disturb, ecosystem will disturb. How? As a result, what happened? Grasses grew tall and prevented the growth of fresh grass. Okay, means the majorly area was with the grass only. So thus conservation practices were adversely affected. So to maintain the balance, grazing of grass is also important, with the same time that the products and the materials of the forest should not be used unequal way. Okay, so and what are their functions also? The development projects like building roads through the forest areas and construction of dams are also damaging the forest. So their function is to has to conserve and to see and to monitor all these things while development projects also. When these development projects are undergoing near the forest, like roads are building, construction of dams are there, and building roads are there, building big industries and factories are there. At the same time, they have to see that the forest areas or majorly the wildlife should not affect it. And even the large inflow of the tourist to the forest for observing wildlife, okay, building rest houses for tourists within the forest, and dumping of waste material by the tourists in the forest are damaging the forest department, okay, and the forest department or environment or ecosystem. So while development of country, development of that area, these things also have to see how the conservation practices are going with development of outside area of forest and wildlife also. Now let us come and talk about the third stakeholder. Okay, let us start with the third stakeholder. The third stakeholders are industries. Okay, industries have a huge interest in the forest department material object, because directly many industries like timber industries, paper industries, lac industries, many industries are directly dependent on forest materials. Okay, so industry, it would consider the forest majorly or merely sources of a raw material for its factory. Means majorly the raw materials, huge raw materials are collected from the forest for these factories, and huge interest groups lobby the government for access to these raw material at artificially low prices, and the government earn from the factory. Okay, they provide raw material to the industries, industrialists, and then they take the money on behalf of that. Okay, now the next one is industries depend forest as a resource provider and exploit all the resources to the maximum without any scope conservation. Okay, so this is the another function of industries. The major industries which are based on forest products are, let me show you, timber industries, paper manufacturing industries, lac and sports equipment, and the major industries which are based on forest products are timber industries, paper manufacturing industries, lac and sports equipment industries. So this is a third one and the third stakeholders. Okay children, see, while using materials, because if lots of trees will be cut for the use or for the benefit of for the industries, then what will happen? There will be problem of soil erosion, deforestation. Okay, so to avoid all the deforestation, there is a major program, major program started to replenish depleting forest, to replenish the forest. That is known as that is known as silviculture. What is known as silviculture? Silviculture, what is silviculture? Silviculture is a major program started to replenish depleting forest. And what was its advantages? The advantages was it produces a large quantity of raw material, for industries like timber and paper. Okay, and the second benefit of silviculture is it increases the area of earth. That what will be benefit for that? It increases the area of earth under forest, which is good for conservation of wildlife. Okay, wildlife will get more area for their conservation. It maintains, the third one is it maintains a perfect water cycle in nature. Okay, and the fourth one is it prevents soil erosion, and the fifth one is it prevents flood. So these all are the advantages and benefit of major program which is called silviculture to replenish the forest. What is actually the silviculture? In the silviculture, the program is like that: more and more in the quantity, more and more in the quality, more and more in the variety of trees are grown in place of trees those who has been cut and used for the industry's purpose. Means when trees are cut for industry's purpose, immediately at that place new trees should be planted, new plantlets should be planted. So this will be a replenish for the forest. So silviculture is a growing more and more variety and quality and quantities of trees, and so these are the various advantages of silviculture. In this lesson, in today's session, you out of 4 stakeholders, you all have studied about 3 stakeholders. Number 1, people living around forest, directly dependent on the forest. Second, forest department, the people who are employed by the government in the forest, from the forest department to take care and the conserve of the forest. And the third one is industries, which are dependent for earning, for their benefit, for their business. And now in your next session we will study and will come to know about the 4th stakeholders and more about the natural resources and management of natural resources. So you all have to study well till then. Sai Ram, all of you.